those of us 54 and younger, that are going to have to come to grips with the fact that if those programs are going to be around for us, they're going to have to look a lot different. We are taking on these entitlements. Unfortunately, I've got to ask the question, Andrea, where's the president on this? He continues to say he wants to work with us, but there's been no proposals. He failed to offer any kind of vision in his budget. And obviously in the Senate, we've got a majority leader over there who says there's not even any problem with Social Security.
As you know, the president is holding meetings today, so the White House says that they are engaged. I wanted to ask you about NPR. You did make comments earlier today about NPR. This was one fundraiser, a hidden video. We know that the guy who took the video has actually pleaded guilty on another charge. So there's a lot of controversy, let's just put it, about the way this video was taken. That said, we're talking about only 2% of the NPR budget, and journalism that is really not been criticized. It's unimpeachable in terms of the work that's being done in war zones around the world. So why go after NPR, even with this current embarrassment?
Well, all I can tell you, Andrea, it's the statements that were made that NPR doesn't need taxpayer funding. I mean, that sort of makes the case in and of itself. And so that's what we're concerned about. We're trying to figure out, finally, in Washington, how to do more with less. And there are going to have to be programs, laudable perhaps in their intent, that are going to be cut. We just don't have the money. We're trying to be honest with the taxpayers here. And given the fact that we've heard now from the people at NPR that they don't need government taxpayer funding,
well,
I think it sort of makes...
It's one person who had already quit. Now he's moved up. Obviously, he's moved up his exit. He was supposed to leave in May. He's a fundraiser. He's not a journalist. He's not, directly involved in the management. And we're talking about $89 million, 2% of their budget. So do you really think that, isn't this really a symbolic fight, a political fight? It has nothing to do with dollars and cents.
Well, obviously, there are some differences, Andrea, with your statements about there's never been any criticism about their reporting. I think that there are many Americans who perhaps may differ with you. And again, the point really is it's about government taxpayer dollars being spent. What are our priorities right now? Again, going back to the formula we're under, 40 cents being borrowed out of every dollar we're spending, it's unsustainable. We don't have the money. So everything's going to have to be cut here. But we're doing this so we can create an environment for the private sector to grow. That's the imperative right now. That's the priority. Again, a lot of laudable goals around Washington, but we need to start setting priorities and being honest with the people.
I just want to point out that NPR and the radio stations are saying that the elimination of federal funding for public broadcasting would be extraordinarily damaging to the services that they provide in rural America, on Indian reservations, not in the big cities perhaps as much, where other kinds of fundraising is possible, private fundraising, but in a lot of poor communities, it's their only news service.
Well, Andrea, as you say, it's a very small percentage of their budget. And again, I would just resort back to the statement, we've got to start prioritizing and learning how to do more with less, just as every American is having to do under these very tough economic times. And again, we've seen consistently that if it's a small percentage of the budget, they ought to be able to absorb it. And if you've got individuals within NPR saying they don't need government funding, then okay. I mean, again, it's about making choices here. That's what we've got to do, again, like most Americans are having to do right now.
Well, no argument. They certainly gave you a loaded pistol in order to, and just said, please fire. It's obviously a big embarrassment for National Public Radio. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Andrea, always
the Majority
a pleasure.
Leader, Eric Cantor.